VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Fun 3-hour program lined up today. 30 minutes from now, Nick Bogdanovich, his weekly Monday spot. We'll recap the weekend, find out what he likes Thursday and Friday in the Sweet 16. Patrick Everson, longtime sports gambling reporter. We'll go over the first weekend, how books did, how bettors did across this city and beyond. And Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio, coming up on the program today as well. A lot to talk about with him. Kentucky and Calipari still alive here in the Madness. How you feeling today, Paulie? Everything all right?
All right. It's a fun show, and sometimes it's sad because it's the best 4 days in sports, and then you recap what happened, and no upset and no little guy. It was a unique first 4 days. I'll say that. And just I would think you all right? Good? You feeling good?
Feeling pretty good.
It's too bad about St. John's, right?
It's way too bad. The one favorite that, come on.
Yep.
The Johnnies and that city and Patino, they couldn't do it.
Well, 2 of 21 from 3. Check, please.
They were horrendous.
I would say Friday night was one of the worst nights you can remember. I mean, every game was a blowout. The late 8 game, the last 8 games. It was
you stole one of my notes.
Tough, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, honestly, first of all, I have to admit it, I got absolutely murdered on Friday. I should have known Friday was going to go poorly for me. I was walking out of one of the station casinos to put in the last man standing entries. I was 4-1 on Thursday. You can buy 4, you get a 5th one. I had 1 loss. I'm feeling good about it, right? I'm walking out at, 10 o'clock in the morning. One of the games had tipped off already. I'm walking out. Stranger comes up. So who do you have in the last man? I don't know who you are. So, whatever. I'm like, okay, I'll tell you. I had Xavier twice, and I had a couple of other teams. Wow, good picks. You know what? I got a good vibe about you, he says.
Okay.
I think you're going to win the whole thing. Okay. I should have just at that point ripped up my tickets and known I had no chance. Friday was one of the worst gambling days I've had ever in March Madness. And from a viewing standpoint, Paulie, I totally agree. That was a 0 on a scale from 1 to 10. Mm-hmm. The game sucked.
Yep.
But I would say we rebounded, though, on Saturday and Sunday, specifically yesterday and last night.
Yeah.
But overall, forget the little guys here. Favorites in the round of 32, 13-3 straight up, 10-6 ATS overall. And that was actually on Friday. But overall in the tournament, that's been the story again here for the most part is that. And I hope that, everybody having an issue with the little guys, not winning games, not really being competitive for the most part. In theory, that should mean Thursday, Friday, and then the game Saturday and Sunday, and maybe even the Final Four should be good? Question mark? You never know how this is going to go. But at least the matchups on paper are going to be there now moving forward.
A lot of this on social media and a lot of this talking to hardcore college basketball fans. Are you concerned that this wasn't a fluke and this is the future? They don't want to put the mid-majors in. And if you're a good player, you're going to leave and get paid at one of the top schools. And it's going to be more difficult for the little guy to compete. And they're already going to be not going to get at-large bids. 13, 14, 15, 16, didn't win a game. Second time since 2008. Uh-huh. You mentioned all the blowouts. And then for what, I don't count Gonzaga, it's the first time in forever you don't have a team from a non-power league in the Sweet 16.
Right. Well, so I want to go back to 2 years ago, right, 2023. In the Final Four that year, we had a 5 seed in San Diego State play a 9 seed in Florida Atlantic, and we had a 4 seed in UConn play a 5 seed in Miami. That's only 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I do remember having the conversation, is this going to be like the new norm? Are we going to get
Yeah.
But NIL is still relatively new. This could change everything, right? And now you're seeing the landscape here of college basketball with, McCollum, awesome coach at Drake. And with that much success this year, he's off to Iowa. Also, he's taken his best player with him.
Yep.
And you're going to see, and now how much news do we have again today? Medvedev gone from Colorado State.
Can you believe this? It was bam, 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 bam.
Like that. Just
McCollum,
like that.
Medved, Miller, and Will Wade. And there's another guy, too.
Yeah. So
as soon as their season ends, they're introduced the next day. So it means the stuff was already set, and they were gone.
That's right. And in a lot of cases, that means they're going to take either their best player or a group of their better players from the previous team along with them, and then you can like kiss the talent from that program away and say adios to them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe this is. I mean, if you go back and look again, great tweet here from Bob Hand TV. Since 1985, the average number of conferences has been 8 to make the Sweet 16. The low was 7, most recently in 2019. This year, 4. As you all know now. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yep. And then if the SEC is going to get 10, 12, 14 bids, even though they can go 4, 5, 6 games under 500 in conference, and Drake can go 30-3 and not get an at-large, or San Diego can go 28-4 and not get an at-large, it's going to be difficult.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, part of the reason why I got slaughtered on Friday is always I've been a dog better come March Madness. And that's what makes it special. And it's like they pull it off or they're in these games so often. Not the case. And maybe that's going to be the new norm, where these teams that get in that are, lined between, let's say, the 13 seed and the 15 seed. Forget about 16 here for a second. And maybe they just, like the Liberty-Oregon game.
Wouldn't believe it.
It's over 3 minutes in.
Yes.
And that just, I found that to be like consistent with some of these matchups.
Yep.
And, maybe that's where it's going to be. No longer, I'm just like putting this out there, that maybe next year in the 5 versus 12s or a 4 versus 13, when the number might be around 7, say, hey, this is a live dog, man. They shoot the 3. Oh, maybe I'll reconsider.
First tourney since 2007, no team seeded 11 or worse made the Sweet 16. In the round of 64, The average margin 16.7, highest ever. And then there were 10 wins. 10 wins by 25 plus. That's unheard of. It's incredible. Yeah. I can't believe it.
The common narrative from everybody I've talked to, not even, like I'll phrase the question like this: what do you make of the tournament so far? I do not ask them, how bad do you think the tournament is? Because that would get a thought maybe going in their head. I'm asking just flat out, what do you think so far? Every response has been awful or it sucks. I can't stand it. I'm just the messenger there.
Now, we did rebound over the weekend.
I would totally agree.
Right.
Yeah.
The Oregon-Arizona game was fierce.
Great.
The A&M-Michigan game was fantastic. The UConn-Florida game had it all.
I did.
Including an all-time bad beat. I mean, there were a lot of good games. Kentucky-Illinois, okay, but Kentucky was in control, but still. Houston-Gonzaga, I mean, there was...
That was good. Good finish.
Right. I thought it was Houston-Texas A&M Part 2. Mm-hmm. What, are you going to blow a 13-point lead again here? So it was... Drake couldn't compete. Purdue takes out McNeese, no problem. That's the other problem you have when you go standalone.
Sure.
You got to sit there and chew on a blowout for 2 hours.
And
then wait for the next game.
You know who else doesn't like that? Like sportsbook directors.
Yeah.
And operators. Because people are coming to town here in Las Vegas or wherever you might be, and you get there early and you're super excited and you have one game on TV and it's crickets because it's a 20-point game 8 minutes in or whatever the numbers might be. It's not a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But again, I would say this. If you just suck it up in the morning session with those 2 standalone games, people aren't going to want to hear this. But how they stack the deck now on Saturday and Sunday, like at night to plan your whole evening around it, you have a chance there to really be epic. Like I was really super excited about those games last night, like the last 4 or 5. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so again, like the tournament so far, not that great. Saturday rebounded a little bit, but we have a chance here to really close strong on a Sunday night. And that Oregon-Arizona game was a pretty good way to end it, I thought.
That game had it all.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many strange plays, too, where Arizona's going to put it away, up 7, a 3-on-1, and they blow it, and Oregon comes down and hits a 3 to cut it to 4. It's at a 9-point lead. It's down to 4. Houston's going to blow out Gonzaga. The kid with the body check? Like, what were you doing there, right?
I don't know.
And then BYU's in total control, and I'll get to this later. Don't overreact. The ridiculous, hey, I've hit you. If I hit you in the nuts, even if it's an accident, I'm automatically ejected? What? What are we doing? Is a guy going to guard like this now with his crotch out?
Yeah,
I mean,
right
what kind of a rule is that?
That was a horrible call.
Meanwhile, the kid from Bryant looks like he was clubbed with an axe. Yeah. Incidental, play on.
Right?
I mean, there's blood everywhere.
Total bloodbath.
Oh, my God.
There's a gallon of blood pouring from the kid's head. No, really nothing to see here. And I get it, too. People are fed up with how many times they have to go to the monitor. It just...
Oh, that's out of control.
Some of these, Paulie... It's
St. Mary's, Alabama's a 13-point game with 2 minutes. Yeah. We're at the monitor for 5 minutes.
Right, and some of this stuff, I mean, right, it should take 15 seconds.
Yes.
If you want to go to the monitor, fine. You get one replay. You should be able to tell at that point, okay, it's good or it's bad. We got to confirm or we got to call it back, whatever. But the 3, 4, 5 minutes over and over and over again, there's got to be a better way to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I hope you're right. And now we have all these low seeds that are still left. We could get an epic Elite Eight Final Four.
Think so.
And we still got 5 teams left with that Ken Palm top 25 defensive and offensive efficiency.
Yeah.
Which has cashed 21 of the last 22 years with the champion.
I also am not a big fan of the way some of these games are getting called. For one more negative on the weekend that was. I tweeted this out last night.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the call, close game, 3-point game in the Michigan State-New Mexico game, thought it was absolutely horrendous.
Yep.
They had a fast break the other way. New Mexico was going to cut it to 1. The guy barely made contact with the Michigan State player. He flops up in the air. The referee didn't even let it breathe. He called the foul immediately, and it just sucked out the chances that New Mexico had to come back.
You know who's very good is Brendan Haywood. I think he's fantastic.
Solid.
He had the best line about, we're playing to go to the Sweet 16. Why are you making it about yourself?
Yeah, there you go.
For Mag, for BYU, they blew the call on the Wisconsin game. He goes, look at this. The guy fell down. They gave him a technical because he pointed to this video screen. Hey, you blew the call. And then you blow the call. I point it out to you, and I get teed up.
Yep. Think about how absurd that is.
Man, I'll make it about yourself, buddy.
Again, but they don't have to answer to anybody.
Oh, God.
They can do what they want out there.
Yep.
All right, which leads us into the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 this week. We will also discuss how the tournament props are shaping up for the remaining conferences next here on VSiN. So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Fills in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
So again, on paper, these matchups now on Thursday and Friday could really, really turn out to be great games. The East Regional is lit big time.
Mm-hmm.
4 top 13 offenses at Ken Palm. 4 of the top 21 scoring offenses overall. All 4 teams average more than 80 points per game. And after last night again, Caleb Love showed up like that. So is he going to do that again to Duke one more time? So Love and Arizona get Duke right away. Here's another weird, tricky thing with the schedule that I don't get it. Why'd they make it so a bunch of teams that played yesterday are going to play on Thursday, and a bunch of teams that played on Saturday are going to play on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I nitpicking with that?
No, that's fair.
Okay.
Yep. I also feel bad for Houston. Purdue's 60 miles away.
Oh, yeah.
Big Blue Nation is 170 miles away. Tennessee's 300 miles away.
Yeah, their fan base will be not exactly matching the other programs that are going to be there. So Arizona and Duke?
I thought too many points. Don't you? I think a lot of these. I was surprised how high the point spread is, but it goes back to what we discussed before the tournament started, that maybe these 1 seeds are just too good. Auburn, that was a tight game at halftime. Again, you bet a dog you can't cash a ticket.
I know.
That's a 6-point game with like a minute left. Somehow Auburn covers. Duke was in total control. Florida almost loses. And then Houston's going to blow them out up 13, and then they blow that. Next thing you know, it's a 2-point game, and they got to make their free throws. But
that's right.
They're laying a big number in kind of a road game against Purdue. Duke's laying 9. I thought Auburn's laying too much against a hot Michigan team, and Florida might be too much. Although Colorado State deserved to win that game, it's too bad. And I will say, although they went under their conference prop, I thought the Mountain West did an excellent job.
Yep. Tip my cap to them.
They showed up. Colorado State outplayed Maryland, deserved a better fate, and New Mexico was right there with Michigan State.
How about the play down by 2 that Medved drew up?
Great. Awesome.
All right, and again, I tweeted this out. Like, I'm not a fan of, you call a timeout, you diagram a play, and it's going to be for an open look at a 3 when you're down by 2. I think just get the 2 or maybe you draw some contact there. That look was as good as it gets. And I'm not even tweeting that out like results based that it went in. If he misses, so be it. I mean, they lost the game anyway at the buzzer. But to get a look like that and for Clifford to recognize, here you go, passing it at the exact right time, and then he rainbows it in, it was a beautiful, exquisite job out of the timeout.
Yep. And then what Maryland did too. How many teams called the timeout there with 3 seconds? And then a lot of people say you can't make the call, but he certainly incredible shot. I can't believe he made it, but he did travel.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Okay.
No,
well, in a sport, they call everything.
I know.
That's true. It was a blatant travel. And then he kisses it off the glass and everything. Everyone goes crazy. DraftKings had 35-1 buzzer beater in that game.
Okay. So it did not, no buzzer beater for the first round, but for the tournament, you get one there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. All right. ACC. It was 6.5. Duke has to win it all to go over.
Well, that's the thing, right? Getting Arizona, you said maybe too many points. I kind of, at first look, I thought 9 might be too many, but I don't want to really get in front of this Duke freight train. 1
ACC team to the round of 32. Fewest all time.
So they have to win the whole thing for the ACC prop to go over 6.5.
Yep.
Oh, boy, okay.
Mm-hmm. Arizona's been great. I was dead wrong against Akron. Akron missed a lot of easy shots, but certainly you knew this is going to be a long night for Akron right away. And then after that big deficit, they came back and were awesome against Oregon as well. So I like Arizona to keep it at least respectable.
I know this. The bottom of that bracket, we could not go wrong if Alabama was going to beat St. Mary's, because against BYU or Wisconsin, that game to me was going to be phenomenal.
Same thing, right? St. Mary's can't make a 3. What happened down the stretch? They put that graphic up. It started in the last regular season game and continued in the West Coast Conference tournament and in this tournament. They could not make a 3, and then they missed so many bunnies. And Alabama was awesome. Alabama was great in transition and what they did offensively. First time in forever they gave up 80 points or more than 80 points. But you miss bunnies, you can't knock down a 3. That'll do it.
I know this. I had the under in the Alabama St. Mary's game yesterday, 150, and it won. It wasn't even enjoyable. It was 2 hours of my life that I'll never get back.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
a tough one.
Cardiac arrest the entire time.
Yep.
And I never felt comfortable. I never felt good. It's like, this just kind of sucks. And it even when it hit, I'm like, I can't do that again. in an Alabama game, and I have zero desire to bet under 174.5 against Purdue. I actually made the number about 180.
Against BYU.
So, I'm sorry, against BYU.
Right. Yeah,
Bama BYU. I think I got to bet over 174.5 here.
That moved 4 points, and I thought Bama opened 3.5 too short. Now, I've been over this. I love this team. They're awesome. Kevin Young is great. Comes from the NBA.
Yep.
Tater Tot Saunders. How good is that story? Great grandson of the guy who invented the tater tot. Of course he's got the NIL deal. Good for him, right?
Yeah, my ancestors invented moss. True story. You go way back.
They are going to get great looks, though, because of what that guy can draw up, and they are assassins. Now, can they shoot 50% again? I don't know.
Maybe.
They keep doing it, though. And we talked about this with Fran Fraschilla. You got to throw out the Houston game. There's just a bad matchup for them. So they've won 13 of 14. You take out the bad Houston game, they've been unstoppable and great, and they got the big guy down low, and Saunders hitting threes, and
by the way,
they run, and they are fun to watch.
Paulie, they play with a ton of confidence.
They do.
I love seeing that.
Yes.
Florida was not confident yesterday.
Yeah,
they played scared in the first half.
Yes, right.
BYU does not play that way. They think that they can hang with any team, maybe outside of Houston. But I'm glad you said that because Fran actually on Twitter sent out a video of that. He broke it down against Wisconsin. He's like, this guy has NBA experience. And specifically, out of a timeout, he's like, watch what he dials up and look at, he knows exactly which player the ball has to be in the hands of, right? To go up and get some contact there against Wisconsin. Also, let me nitpick here for a second. What was Greg Gard doing having Tanjay bring the ball up in the final 13 seconds? Just go to your spot, get a shot off, maybe draw some contact? As my brother told me, he watched like every game this year for Wisconsin. Blackwell brings the ball up like 99% of the time.
Okay.
And they get Tanjay off screens or rubs. That's my first reaction. I'm like, what? That was a horrible job. So, anyway, BYU and Alabama to the moon, I think. If Florida gets to 7, I got to take Maryland at that point.
Are you concerned they were outplayed, though? I think it's a good thing for Florida. They got to get that out of their system.
Good.
I mean, how bad were they until the final 3 minutes? And Clayton saved them.
I thought Florida was... They did that to themselves in the first half. That was not Hurley magic. Now, people watch games differently. My opinion was Florida shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again yesterday. The lane violation, a botched alley-oop, the sloppy, stupid ball handling and the passing. They look like Golden State in 2026 when they thought they could eliminate a 9-point deficit in like one possession. It was driving me nuts. But to flip it, I thought UConn was clearly the better team in the second half. And that's where I tipped my cap to Hurley. Yeah. I thought they were fantastic. They just happened to lose to Florida, who hit a couple of shots late when it mattered most.
He's unbearable, and I know certainly he didn't. He went out with the blaming the refs again, like he always does. Can't accept losing. But two things that'll never be broken again: 7 SEC teams in the Sweet 16. Good luck breaking that. And Hurley has covered 14 in a row in the tournament.
Yeah, who knows? That might extend next year.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Arkansas and Texas Tech?
I got to think Tech gets them. And it's a great job by Calipari, but then again, St. John's was 2 of 21 from 3, and so with a chance to win. So I think those looks will be there for Texas Tech, and they're going to knock them down. It's too bad it isn't Texas Tech against St. John's, but weird year for Arkansas that they start 0-5 in SEC play, and he's able to get them this far. Good job. And it's funny how things work out, right? He has all that talent. 2 seed, 3 seed, can't beat, St. Peter's and Oakland.
Sure.
And he comes in with this team with all these injuries and put, scotch tape, whatever, duct tape it together, and you beat Kansas and you beat St. John's as a 10.
Kentucky with Calipari, they had not made it out of the first round since 2019. How much talent has he had in the last 6 years there?
I know.
You got to be kidding me. I'm with you. I think Michigan, the way they're playing right now, that's a huge number to be getting. I also think Houston might punish Purdue. But I might be the wrong guy to talk about with the Boilermakers. I don't like this team. I know they blew out McNeese State. That cost me a ticket. I bet against them in that game. I'm probably going to be betting against them here.
Wasn't that strange? And he's a good coach. For the first time all season, you play the 2-3 zone against Clemson. They're baffled. They don't know what to do. Then he comes out with it again. Which you got Purdue's expecting it, though.
Sure.
And then they knock it down, and it's a blowout. And all we had to talk about was Amir Khan coming out. And
I know.
All his NIL deals and the
should have known
that
right there.
I just thought you got to go back or mix it up then.
I'll tell you, maybe
because you're telling them, you're showing your hand.
Maybe the best game, based on the coaches, is Ole Miss and Michigan State.
Yeah. True. What a job by Ole Miss.
Oh,
and,
boy.
Apparently people kept betting them at several spots, and that game was over early. They've been awesome so far. Can they continue to shoot like that? But great job by Beard. Your bracket might be done, but the tournament isn't. Neither are your chances to win. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber today. Just $9.99. Turn tournament heartbreak into betting success. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits from DK and Circa. The March Mania betting guide and 24/7 video access. VSiN.com/subscribe. $9.99. Let VSiN help you turn the madness into money. VSiN.com/subscribe.
All right, longtime Vegas odds maker Nick Bogdanovich on the program coming up next. How was the weekend for bettors overall? And we'll ask what numbers stick out to him in the Sweet 16 here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
For just $9.99, VSiN's got you covered for March Mania with a VSiN Pro subscription. You'll get access to bracket breakdowns, daily expert picks, as well as our March Mania betting guide, exclusive to Pro subscribers. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe today to sign up for just $9.99. And don't forget to catch us on the go with the VSiN Watch app or listen on SiriusXM Channel 158 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino, where our next guest comes to work, clocks in, does the numbers for college basketball every single day, not a day off for a good month. Nick Bogdanovich, longtime Vegas odds maker, sports gambling Hall of Famer here on the Progressive Guest Line. Nick, thanks for the time today as always. How did the 4 days go for bettors here?
Yeah, I'd say the bettors held their own. I'd say the books probably won a ham sandwich or so, but incredible action, and, it always lives up to the hype. I know everyone wanted a couple more Cinderella upsets. I guess we got Drake and McNeese on the first round, but other than that, it's been pretty chalky. But still, the tournament's great. It's that simple.
Handle this year higher than what it was at this point last year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a few bigger bets this year than we did last year. But yeah, the handle's definitely above last year.
Was Ole Miss the worst result? Man about town, Patrick Everson's coming on. He said everywhere he went, it was nothing but Ole Miss money. Was that the case at Circa?
The two worst results by far were Houston coming 5 against Gonzaga, and Oregon coming 4 against Arizona last night. So yeah, those were numbers that were hard to fade.
I'm guessing Kentucky was good for the book, yeah?
You know what? It's funny. Kentucky was good for the book, and under was good for the book. They were betting that one over pretty good. But, Kentucky in the futures, they act like they can't win. There's no money on Kentucky whatsoever to win the future. So it'd be interesting to see if maybe they'll draw some money now that they're down to the Sweet 16.
Well, how high are you on them? You're right. I haven't really heard anybody make the case that Kentucky has a legit shot to win this thing. And now here you go. They have 2 wins over Tennessee on the year. They were without Jackson Robinson in the last game. I don't know if Butler played in either one of them, and yet they, at both times as a dog, they beat Tennessee, and here you go. They're doing it one more time.
Yeah, they are. And we got them like 60-1 to win it all. So, I mean, it's not like the craziest notion you ever heard, but, teams start playing well at the end of the year. Anything can happen. Look at Arkansas. I mean, they looked very good their first 2 games, and they're going to be a tough out this next round as well.
Okay, so you told us last week and in previous weeks that you are personally betting against Duke almost every single game, and you're getting carried out. Did you have a ticket on Baylor yesterday?
I did not. Might be the first good move I made in 3 years. No, I didn't. But it was the only side I'd had, I'll tell you that. I mean, I was very tempted to take the 13. We opened that game 12, and we just got bombarded with Duke money. So that was, when you were talking about bad games earlier, that's right up there with them. They laid 12 and 12.5. In the first half, they laid 7 and 7.5 like it was nothing. And
wow. And
that was our biggest bet. We had a gentleman bet Kentucky on the money line to win $137,000. So you do the math. It was like laying 10 and 12-1. So what do you bet, like $1.4 million or something to win $137,000?
Okay, all right. Well, what number would you need personally to take Arizona coming up on Thursday?
You know what? I'll probably end up on Arizona. Arizona, I think, is a team that can elevate their game to the competition. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of, I think they can hang around this game. But the more and more I watch Duke, the more and more I'm impressed. So I might just, I might have to sit another one out. I sat the first 2 out. They're 2-0 again in the tournament. So, I'd have to take 10, I guess.
You what? Okay. Let's say Duke wins and they're impressive. And at the bottom of that region, then, let's say Alabama beats BYU and they're impressive and they score a ton of points. What would you make Duke-Bama in the Elite Eight?
Alabama is the wild card of them all because of their frantic style. And if they have a hot night, they can really beat anyone. So, of course, they could lose by 25 as well, the way they play against a good Duke team. Both teams coming off impressive wins. I'd have to make Duke 5.5, 6.
Okay.
All right.
What do you think of Auburn and Michigan? and this line up to 9, and Auburn gets the win and cover against Creighton without a good performance by Broom. And I don't know how Michigan's doing this, although with an excellent coach, they were so bad down the stretch, eviscerated by Michigan State. They win the Big Ten tournament, should have lost to San Diego, and then they score 50 points in the second half against A&M. What say you, Auburn 9?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Auburn team or the Michigan team. You're right. This is a hard one. I mean, if you watched Auburn play Creighton for the first 30 minutes of that game, you would think that there's no way that this is a number 1 seed. But,
right.
They found a way. But Michigan's rolling right now. I don't only have the points in this game. I mean, they're playing some pretty good ball. So I would take the 9 with Michigan. I made the game 8, so it's not like I made it way off. But
okay,
yeah, I'd only have the dog in this one.
Is there a big difference a small difference in any numbers you had based on what the numbers are and the odds?
Not really. I mean, the $1 million question this week is how much home field you give to Purdue for playing in Indianapolis.
That's true. Yes.
I think Purdue hangs with Houston. I really do. I only made that game 6, so I'm hoping it keeps going up. I don't think Houston buries anyone from here on out. They may win the whole damn thing, but I don't think they torture anyone because it's just the way they play, the style they play, and their offensive ability isn't super high. I mean, it's better than years past, but that doesn't mean that's not saying a whole hell of a lot. They expend so much energy on the defensive end, they don't, and they don't have prolific scorers. So I think Purdue's in that game to the very end. I like Purdue in that game.
Okay. Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, longtime Vegas odds maker, Sports Gambling Hall of Famer Nick Bogdanovich, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. Michigan State got it done. Tip your cap to them and Tom Izzo. I did not think New Mexico got a very favorable whistle last night in that game, but that's neither here nor there. And now Ole Miss is suddenly like one of the hottest teams in the country, and Sparty's 3.5 here. Can you find yourself going against Chris Beard right now, Nick?
I made the game 3, and that's what it came. I'd love to see Ole Miss win this one. I like some new blood in there, but a quick shout out to the Mountain West. Colorado State and New Mexico represented themselves well.
Damn right.
They both got wins, and they both could have won yesterday in tough environments and tough situations. So I was glad to see that they didn't go 0-4.
All right. And then Arkansas, Texas Tech. Is Arkansas going to do this one more time?
They very well may. They got Boogie Flan back. He looked really good last game. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and they love Coach Cal. So I'm looking to ride Arkansas right now.
Great job, my friend.
Okay.
We'll see you next week. Enjoy the games.
I wish I was there in studio, guys. Sorry, but I slept in this morning.
No problem.
No
I hope
worries.
you didn't get pulled over. I heard the sirens in the background. You're the best.
Yeah,
Thanks.
there was an ambulance.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
$1 million bet. I think he said Kentucky.
Yeah,
he meant
Duke
Duke money
money
line.
line.
Wow. To win 140,000, whatever it was. Okay. Well, never in doubt. That was a piece of cake as well.
What do you think of the Big Ten start?
10-0 straight up in ATS?
That'll
Man.
probably never happen again.
That's right. There's a lot of stuff where it's like, forget about that. How about Izzo? 13-1 in the second round is a better seed.
That's pretty.
This guy is unbelievable.
That's right.
Really? How hard is that? I mean, he's just between that, the Hurley stuff, and good for BYU. First Sweet 16 since 2011. And you saw Jimmer there as well, hanging out. But that's, these are great matchups on paper. Are you concerned about that? Purdue, 60 miles away? If Houston shoots the 3 like that, forget it. They're going to win the whole thing. And Cryer knocking it down?
I'm not high on Purdue at all. I don't even really want to have an opinion on the game, like on the air on this show, because I love the idea of Houston and their ceiling, and I think this might be a horrible matchup for Purdue, and this could be one of the teams left that I think Houston might actually be able to just do whatever they want against. But again, I'm probably lower on Purdue than anybody here at the network. So take my opinion and probably throw it in the trash.
Yeah, okay. Eliminate the fake cappers who are pitching fake records. Juice Reel, bringing transparency to the picks marketplace. All Juice Reel betting accounts are synced with the betting history directly from the books. No hiding those bad records, and Juice Reel ranks every bettor based on their actual betting record. Sharps even get paid when other follows their picks. when you follow their picks. Check it out for yourself and download the Juice Reel app. Promo code Let's Go and get $25 in free app currency they can use to check out what the best cappers on Juice Reel are betting. Free in the App Store, Juice Reel, REEL. Download, get it today, Juice Reel.
I know this has been making the rounds after Arizona won last night, but the last time Zona and Duke played, it was in the Sweet 16 in 2011, and Arizona was the 5 seed. Duke was the 1 seed, and the Wildcats blew their doors off. It was 93-77.
Eric Williams?
Yeah, I tweeted that out earlier.
Did you?
I'm telling you, that game that he played, I was convinced he was going to be an awesome pro. Convinced. Dead wrong. But his highlights from that game are making the rounds on social media. Incredible what he did to Duke in that game. Paul will recap the entire weekend, win, lose next.
Join Matt Brown and Mike Somich on Ready, Set, Bet as they get you ready to make your bets for all the weekend games.
We're going to be at the end of this thing with money guns, or I'm just going to be like, begging people for change out on Fremont Street.
It feels like the Twins and the Guardians have higher floors but lower ceilings.
Don't miss out on crucial advice for live betting once the game starts, as well as looking ahead to the upcoming action. Tune in to Ready, Set, Bet, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, a wild weekend. Arkansas money line plus 290. Michigan plus 145. Awesome in the second half. A lot of good stuff in these other tournaments as well. Bradley plus 210. Top 16 seeds. 16-0 straight up. Average margin of victory, 23 points per game with a ton of blowouts. McNeese, Purdue under 144.5 to 140, 76-62. BYU, Wisconsin over 153.5 to 157.5. That game was awesome and lived up to the hype. Izzo, 13-1 in the second round, is a better seed. Hurley's covered 14 in a row in the tournament the last 3 years. Richie Saunders, BYU, great grandson of the inventor of tater tots, has the NIL deal.
Bob Cobb all over again.
Not BYU, Sweet 16, first time since 2011. Double-digit seed has made the Sweet 16 17 years in a row and 38 of the last 40, all because of Arkansas. That was close, although Colorado State deserved a better fate.
Yeah, they did.
Friday night, favorites went 13 for the day. Favorites 13-3 straight up, unders 12-4. Most points scored in a game in the entire tournament goes over. Tanjay over 35.5. Great bringing Wisconsin back. Buzzer beat a round of 32, 3-1. In the Colorado State game, 35-1. NIT, UAB plus 250. Likewise, Kent State. Oklahoma State 3-1. In the over, 152 up to 156, 85-83. Illinois State over, 138.5 up to 142. Doesn't matter the games, they're just betting them over. Manhattan, 144 up to 148. Dayton, Chattanooga. NIT, 148.5 up to 155.5. Kent State, Stanford, 138.5 up to 142. UAB, Santa Clara, 163.5 to 168. Saturday in the NBA, Bulls plus 430. You ever see that? 10-point dogs won by 30.
Absolutely.
Finally, everyone's healthy for the Lakers, and they had nothing.
Killed them. Scored 140 points on them.
No defense. UFC, the girl Bannon by sub, 10-1, round 2, 16-1. Brady to win in round 4, what was that, 11-1. Holland by decision, 8-1. Thanera, round 1, 7-1. Duncan by sub, 16-1, round 2, 14-1. Indy Jeff does it again. Hovland, 45-1, as high as 80-1 at the Westgate.
I can't believe that.
No one bet him, no one wanted him, and Hovland with the comments about I don't know what to expect. He's on like his 5th swing coach.
Yeah, that's right. And now he's down at some spots 30-1 to win the Masters because he won that. And that's now Indy Jeff's 2nd in 3 weeks?
Right.
There you go.
Yep. And then he had Berger, top 5 that paid 20-1 too.
You also had Davis Riley this weekend, like at a placement that
all right,
super high price.
Excited to talk to him tomorrow. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. This is crazy with the Bulldogs are trying to jump. Look at this guy with the hang time here, trying to get in as they greet Dad at the door. The guy's jumping up to the handle all the way up, and he opens up. Okay, now let's go. Now we got the zoomies as well, and now we go out and run around Zoom at playtime as Dad comes home. I mean, they're so excited. Look how high that guy got. Excellent. The French Bulldog.
Super high.
A friend of ours just got one. I go, okay, let's set me straight. How much? He goes, $8,000. Now look at the bully. Look at this. Imagine this guy has the zoomies. Not like the French Bulldog, which we showed last week. You come home and this guy's excited. He's a truck.
Oh,
look
mama
at him.
mia.
I know. Yeah. He's going to wreck the house.
Absolutely. He's a wrecking ball.
Yeah. I got a good one for you, too, coming this later week.
8,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
You see, we're on the thread.
I forgot about it.
Love bullies. Look at this guy. He's a big fella. Absolutely. Lose some. First tournament since 2007. No team seeded 11 or worse made the Sweet 16. A 13, 14, 15, or 16 didn't win a game. Second time since 08. Average margin of victory in round of 64, 16.7. 10 games decided by 25 plus. A first 4 team didn't win a game. That happened 12 of the last 13 years. Illinois, +1, went off the favorite. Kentucky, much the best. Cal Irvine over 136.5 up to 141. That was no good. One lose some. Look at the dog trying to catch the water here. One guy can figure it out. The other guy, right? Stepping on it. No, got to have it. So one guy's got it, but then okay, I'll catch it off the top end here. I'll get it at the height. And the other guy can't get it. He misses it. He can't figure it out with the Bulldogs. Bad for the books, as Nick mentioned. Arizona 3 up to 5, fell 4. The Houston finish also was bad, and several bad beats. Florida, UConn under. 150, 151, 152, whatever. 9 points in the last 11 seconds, 15 points in the last 26 seconds, and the 3 at the buzzer. You knew he was going to hit it to put it on 2.
Our producer Luke had under 151.5. I don't think it was worse than Clemson McNeese, but it was close.
Yeah.
Clemson at 13 points at
31-13 at halftime.
Yeah.
Right? I think that was 46-44 second half, too. Houston, laying 5 or 5.5, led by 13 with 2:30 left, won by 5. They did it again. They can't, 2 years in a row they've done that. Can't blow it like that. Mountain West over 2.5 wins. Colorado State loses on a buzzer beater. Oh, what a shot.
That was that was nice plus money, by the way.
Yep.
If anybody bet it over.
And it happened again in the UFC. This Parkin kid was $8 in play.
Oh.
They gave Tybura by decision. How does this stuff keep happening with these judges? Take your betting to the next level with First Bet, whether it's Santa Anita, Gulfstream, or the road to the Derby. Sign up now, firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Bet smarter today. Firstbet.com.
All right. Is this a lose sum? Here's what I'm up against this week and over the span of 2 months. Valentine's Day, February 14th. Today, wife's birthday. Thursday, our anniversary. And now that we adopted a baby boy, he is going to be 1 year old in April. It's going to be my wife's first ever Mother's Day. I get that, I guess, multiple haymakers in less than 3 months combined.
I don't know what you do.
It's not fun.
That's a tough one.
I hate the spot that I'm in.
Yeah.
So.
2 gifts, call it good.
I got her jewelry on Valentine's Day.
Okay, well played.
I got her a gift for our anniversary, and I had nothing for the birthday, so I'm like, I got to bump it up and give her the anniversary gift today.
You can't 10, 15 years together. What do you? You run out of ideas and creativity.
I know.
It's kind of like the Tony Soprano line.
That's the thing is, I told her today when I gave her the gift, I'm not getting you flowers. I don't want we do dinner all the time.
I hate doing that because they die.
Of course, right? I'm like, I want to think, but I'm like, it's tough to think about something. So I don't know. What do you think about this move? I'll totally admit it. I'm not a good dancer. You might think I'm trying to pull a fast one on you. You listen to me all the time on the show. You think, yeah, I bet this guy really could cut up a dance floor. I can't. Never been able to. She's watched Dancing with the Stars for 20 years or whatever. She is a good dancer. I got ballroom dancing lessons for the two of us.
Very good.
That's good?
Well, it's creative at least.
That's the thing I told her. I'm like,
give it a shot. You're gonna score. Your power rating goes up.
So
doing something like that.
Sure. And I told her, I'm like, maybe this is something that we can do for the rest of our lives together. Maybe we'll love it after a couple of sessions, and it'll take off, and it can turn into a thing. Bob Dancer. That's his.
Hey, Bob.
Right?
Yep.
Legendary video poker player here in Las Vegas.
Yep.
He's awesome at the ballroom dancing. So, or maybe after a couple of sessions, it's like, I hate this. I'm worse than I ever imagined. I have no hope whatsoever. I can't dance a lick. I'm not Justin Timberlake up here. So we're going to tap out. I don't know. It can go one of 2 ways, I guess. But now forget Thursday. What do I do for the anniversary? Games are on. I got multiple tickets on Florida.
I had that. Yes, that's huge for you. I know. I thought you were cooked. I thought they were going to lose that game, down 3 with
convinced
under 3,
they were going to lose
the way they were playing. But I had I go birthday, Christmas, Valentine's, and then after getting so much stuff, I'm just like, let's just go to the gun range, shoot some guns, do that little.
That
target
sounds fun.
Practice. We did that for your bachelor party.
That's great.
Almost got killed. Guy was in the simulator and he missed a shot. He pointed up.
He turns around to the big group and he's got the gun like this.
Points it right at me.
And he's like, group of 8 guys, and he's like,
my God, would have been over. But that's something to do, and that's unique down there where you can go. There's a restaurant, a bar, the gun range, and then you can do karaoke in Chinatown.
Oh, okay, there you go.
You can knock it all out.
You know what's fun? We did this one year. The indoor trampoline.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun. And
it is?
You will, I'm telling you right now, you will not believe the workout. I could barely finish an hour. I thought I was going to be a dead man. 20 minutes in, I'm like, I have no chance to last the final hour here. Crazy workout. You never anticipate that, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay. Good job. Good luck.
Also, the indoor skydiving. We've done that.
That's the other thing you did. Your anniversary's the madness. You think it through, what?
Just right here. Just right here.
Oh, my God.
So dumb. How did I fall for that? Hey, you want to get married? Yeah. How about March 27th? There's a good idea. The tournament is in trouble. I don't want to overreact, but is next.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy.